With the recent release and massive disappointment of Ramatra, we're all looking forward to who's coming next. I'm not personally sure if I'm more afraid that they're going to be as bad as Junker Queen and Ramatra, or if I'm excited to see what they're going to do and hopefully step up their game a little bit. Blizzard has already let us know on Twitter that we're going to be getting supports 2-to-1 for a bit to try and fill out the support queue a little bit, which thank God, because support as a support main myself is a bit rough right now. So let's dive in and take a look at the most mysterious heroes and the ones that we have the least info on first. The only info I've been able to find about who these support players might be is actually from Andrew Rayner of Game Informer. So he went to Blizzard back in 2019 and was showed a picture with 4 silhouettes. We have confirmation that 2 of these silhouettes were Ramatra and Kiriko. That leaves us with 2 other characters that we know for a fact are not characters that were released at the time or leaked at the time, that are females and most likely support characters. These characters are most likely slated to release around the same time, so if we have Ramatra and Kiriko, that means that these other 2 characters probably coming out shortly after. Let me know in the comments if you have any more information than I do. As far as tanks go, we have a pretty good idea of who we think it might be. The character ideas definitely have me ranging from super stoked about him to a little nervous. Let me show you why. I'd like to start this conversation with Awesome in Mauga. Mauga is a big ass Samoan dude whose name literally means mountain, and he looks like Maui from Moana. He's a former Talon operative and ex-friend of my goat Baptiste, whose name literally means mountain. Word on the street is Mauga is actually supposed to be Hero 31, better known as Sigma, but he didn't fit Sigma's kit, so we had to wait for this glorious character and instead have to look at Sigma's creepy feet while we throw his balls around. What we know for sure is that he is definitely a tank and that he is definitely already slated to be in the game. They probably have his character models ready and has already been worked on, so my guess would be he would be our next tank to come in the lineup. Now let's get into the tank possibilities that make me a little nervous. D.Va is part of a little known force called Mecha. Short for Mobile Exo Force of the Korean Army, holy shit, thank God for abbreviation. D.Va's team is made of her and 4 other mech pilots who protect their home against Omnic attack. Her team consists of Casino, Demon, King, and Overlord. Also yes, by the way, D.Va, real name is Hannah. Who knew? While these team members do all have unique mechs that have different abilities than D.Va, it is definitely a frightening opportunity for the Blizz Boys to be lazy as shit, and considering their recent track record of really lazy, shitty balance patches, trying to sell us rare skins as epic skins to make money, and just general disorder in Overwatch 2, I don't have a ton of faith that they're not just going to go ahead and take D.Va, reskin her, make our buttons do different things, and call it a new hero. So while it would be cool to get a bunch of different mech heroes, I am very worried that they're just going to be reusing assets to do this, which makes me uneasy at best.
The world could always use more heroes. If only it were that easy. After all, heroes aren't born. They're made.
We only have one decent idea of a DPS that would be coming anytime soon, but to be honest, the one idea is kind of fucking sick. In Kiriko's animated short and her origin trailer, we were introduced to her mom, Asa Yagami. Asa is a badass fighter who comes from generations of warriors. She trained Kiriko, Genji, and Hanzo and taught them everything they know, but my guess is it wasn't everything she knows. Sorry, that was really cheesy. Moving on. So Asa is basically a badass mom who taught some of the most unique characters in the game how to fight. Considering we already have so many characters in the game linked to the Shimada clan, and we have a backing for Blizzard adding family members into the game, I'd say we have a decent chance of seeing Asa take the main stage. If we do see her, one thing I'm stoked about is the opportunity to hear her voice lines with Genji, Hanzo, and Kiriko. I feel like one thing that Overwatch 2 has brought is a lot of new, really cool voice lines, and I think it would be hilarious listening to all 3 of them get yelled at by their mom. I mean, I know she's not really Genji and Hanzo's mom, but mother figure, we'll call her. Alright, guys. Outside of these role-specific and decent leads, there's one place we can look for a little bit looser options, but something that we have seen hint at heroes in the past. regardless of whether or not they actually come to the full iteration of what we saw in the original. We have access to the original character sheet that was brought to the first ever pitch meeting for Overwatch. This sheet probably has tons of scrapped heroes, but who knows, maybe a select few made it. To me, the cool thing about this pitch sheet is that if you look at it, you can actually see that quite a few of our characters that we have in the game were on this original pitch sheet. Just taking a look, I know that I've seen Brig on there, Echo, Reaper, obviously, Genji and Hanjo were actually supposed to be one person. So we also, like I said, have a couple of characters that have been added recently from this pitch meeting that were on this sheet in Echo and Brig. These were both DLC characters that came out after patch. So who's to say that they're not also still planning on these other characters that are in here potentially coming out? I even noticed that if you look at the top left of the sheet, it's probably showing on the screen now, there's actually a character called Watcher, and it appears to be an early iteration of Ramatra, which is really interesting because Ramatra, obviously, as we all know, just came out. So if that's the case, that means we absolutely have proof that they're still using the sheet and still planning on releasing some of these characters. Whether I'm right or wrong, it's always cool to think about this stuff. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I work really hard on these videos. I love making them for you, and I really appreciate the appreciation. Catch you on the next one.